Hey Diecast fans, welcome back to Diecast Car Creative. And in today's video, I'm going to show you two really cool versions of the Aston Martin Vantage racing car. The first one we have is the Poprace Vantage GT3, and the second one is the fairly new Euro Speed Hot Wheels car culture Aston Martin Vantage GTE. So I thought it'd be fun to compare the two, not for any particular reason, just for fun. So in this video, I'll do a walkthrough of both cars, do a comparison for you, and talk about some of the fine details. So let's get started. Now you may be wondering again, what is the difference between the GTE and the GT3? Well, I would say not a whole lot, but the GTE is definitely the more extreme race car. That's usually from factory-based teams, and it's a more complex vehicle. So you pretty much need a team to operate, run it, maintain it. The GT3, however, while still an extreme racing vehicle, comes with things like ABS, traction control, and it's a more quote-unquote entry-level racing car from Aston Martin, meaning that some privateers can drive it, or some local teams, not some of the large, huge, internationally backed teams, but it's a more accessible, again, in quotes. We're still talking hundreds of thousands of US dollars to operate. So that's the main difference between the two, but body style, they're very similar. And it's kind of cool that Hot Wheels chose to go with GTE, the more extreme. And Poprace on this particular livery that I'm highlighting today is focused on an actual racing team, Koyo2, am I saying that right? Koyo2 Racing, and it's the number 21 car. Yeah, and the Poprace version raced in the GT3 class at the recent GT World Challenge Sprint Silver Cup crown. If I get that right, I think. So really a lot of pedigree with these cars. And if you've watched my channel, you probably know that Aston Martin is one of my all-time favorite vehicles, all of them, from the DB5 rather, 6, and all the way up to the current Vantage and DB9 and everything in between. I just love them. And of course, if I had one, I would spec it with gold wheels and British Racing Green. Keep in mind also that Hot Wheels are made to be taken out of the package and enjoyed and played with, whereas Poprace is really meant for the adult collector. So the design elements are going to be different accordingly. So for example, the Hot Wheels has a solid cast rear spoiler, whereas the Poprace has a more delicate rear spoiler added, plus additional side wing mirrors, all of which would be destroyed if it was played with by anyone, like a child or something. All right, let's start with the Hot Wheels Euro Speed Aston Martin Vantage GTE. Now, again, you may be wondering what the difference is between the GTE and the GT3. Just a reminder that the GTE cars are faster, first and foremost, more complex, and of course that usually comes with a higher price tag. And they are often built up from factory teams. They have less electronic aids. They don't usually come with any type of ABS or traction control. So this is the more extreme version that you'll see running the endurance races. So just a few things to point out. First of all, again, the casting is brilliant. So Hot Wheels has really knocked it out of the park, starting with that rear splitter. Very nice detail. These are real rubber tires, or real riders, as Hot Wheel enthusiasts call them. Now, the headlights and the driving lights are painted on. They're not lens inserts. So that's one thing to notice. However, there are plastic inserts for the hood vents, which is a nice touch. But the rear spoiler is part of the cast. It is made of metal, unlike the Poprace. So that is something to notice. And quite a big detail difference, if you will. And then the rear lights are painted. I really don't know how else you would do that. It's too thin for an insert, in my opinion. But there is an insert when it comes to the side vent here. And that's kind of a nice touch. I really like that. The wheels on this one, I think they're okay. I think a lot of Hot Wheel enthusiasts will probably change them out. but otherwise okay. And then you can see this car is unmarked. It doesn't have any racing decals. It's not from a particular team, but it does have that nice, I love that fluorescent yellow or striping, if you will. Just a really nice touch. And then the interior, that's going to be typical Hot Wheels. There's no type of coloring inside. Even the rear roll bar cage is all made of the same kind of plastic black color. It looks good, but again, not very detailed. So yeah, this is what you get for about $16 retail. And overall, really nice casting, good attention to detail. And if you're an Aston fan like me, it is really a nice specimen. Okay, now this is the Poprace Aston Martin GT3, Vantage GT3, not the GTE, GT3. And this is a very specific car that has number 21 on it. It's from an actual race team. And that's one of the main differences between this particular model. They do have, of course, several, as does Hot Wheels, but this very particular one is specific to a racing team. Now, more specifically, this car raced in the GT World Challenge Sprint Silver Cup crown and won it in 2022. And I believe they won the 2024 as well. And it's with the Toyu Racing team. So yeah, a little bit of pedigree with this one here. And let's look at some of the fine detail on it. The first thing you probably notice is the lettering on the tires, which again are rubber. That is such a nice touch. In addition, look, we have the rear view mirrors and lens inlays for the headlights. That's always a nice touch as well. Separate plastic inlay for the side skirts, and then a separate plastic, highly detailed rear spoiler, which is one of my favorite aspects. And notice also they have the windshield wiper in the front. That's also a nice touch. Now, what really makes this Poprace model pop, no pun intended, is the paint. It's a beautiful metallic Aston Martin Racing or British Racing green with that nice highlight fluorescent yellow. And then look at all the fine details, all the racing livery sponsors and details and decals, beautifully placed and correctly placed, I may add, on the car itself. So that's really what sets this particular car apart. It's that higher quality paint, I would say, but the fact that they strive, Poprace being they, to really recreate as close as possible to the actual racing vehicle. And the final thing you may notice is that look at the interior. See how the roll cage is a different color? There's a lot more attention, you can see it here as well, to the interior of this car. Rear lights are painted on, which again, I think is about the only way you can do it with such thin lights. But again, a gorgeous, gorgeous model. And this is definitely my favorite 1/64 scale model in my collection. And this one I got in Singapore for about $9, but you can find it on eBay between $16 and $24, it seems, for a new Poprace in plastic kind of packaging. But I've noticed some sellers are going as high as $45. Don't pay that. Shop around. You really shouldn't pay more than about $20, $25 for this one. So, oh, gorgeous. So just for fun, let's end this video by looking at them side by side at the same time. And you know, you really have to hand it to Hot Wheels because the casting and the shape of the body is captured so perfectly. Look how similar these cars are. Yes, the quality level definitely goes to the Poprace, but you know, Hot Wheels, I think in this case would be an example of how they shoot above their weight when it comes to their car culture series and their premium series, and in this case the Eurospeed series. Really, really impressive on their part. So well done. But of course, my heart's with the Poprace, but I equally love the Hot Wheels Premium. Okay, let's go to our rating scale. Detail and attention to fit and finish, a solid 3. A really good effort. Cost, oh great, $15. And the wow factor is, I would say, dead center. It's great, not the best, but still great. Collectability, still, in the middle, especially if you love Astons. And availability, they're pretty fairly available. This one I just found off the Target shelf. So yeah, great effort, HotWheel. Now let's look at the collectability of the Poprace version. Detail, attention to fit and finish. This is the reason I love Poprace. It was from this car. This is my very first Poprace model that I purchased in Singapore, and I just could not believe the detail. It is stunning. Cost, not the cheapest out there, probably higher end for 1/64 scale, but not overly priced at the moment, luckily. Wow factor, as wow as you can get. Again, stunning detail. Collectability, especially for Aston Martin fans, I would say it's trending on the high at the moment, and getting better and better as the models get rarer. And availability, this is online only unless you're lucky that your local hobby shop has it. But otherwise it's eBay or a variety of other diecast car sites that are selling them. Just be careful because some are way overcharging. You really shouldn't pay more than $25 for this model. So that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.